In the aftermath of the incident at the waterfall, Pandu's desire to have another son intensified. When he believed that Vrikodara had died after falling from the hill, he was overwhelmed with grief. At that moment, he felt that his eldest son, Yudhishthira, was once again left isolated, devoid of a brother's companionship. To prevent such misfortunes from occurring in the future, Pandu resolved to have another son. With this conviction, Pandu resolved to invoke the greatest of all gods, Indra, the king of the Devas and master of the Pancha Mahabhutas, the five great elements: Agni, the god of fire; Varuna, the god of water; Vayu, the god of wind; Prithvi, the goddess of earth; and the eternal space, Akasha. Indra, who commanded these forces, was the most powerful king of all deities. If a son were born with the blessings of Indra, he would surely be destined to become the greatest warrior in the world. Warrior capable of shaping the destiny of the Kuru lineage. But Pandu knew that simply invoking Indra through the boon would not be enough. He needed to ensure that the son born through this divine blessing possessed every quality necessary to rise above all others. Seeking guidance, Pandu consulted with the sages residing in the ashram. The sages listened carefully to his thoughts and, after deliberation, advised a path that would not only earn Indra's favor, but ensure that the blessing was bestowed with the fullest potency. They recommended that Kunthi undertake a vratha, a sacred vow for an entire year, while Pandu would perform Tapasya to summon Indra himself to the mortal realm and secure his assurance. This was no ordinary penance. The sages instructed Pandu to stand on one leg every day from sunrise to sunset, his body still and his mind focused solely on Indradeva. The Tapasya was designed to invoke the deity's presence and demonstrate Pandu's unwavering devotion. Kunthi, though aware of the challenges ahead, accepted the vratha with determination. She purified herself and began the year-long vow, adhering strictly to the rituals and austerities prescribed by the sages. Every day, she offered prayers, fasted, and performed sacred rituals to align her mind and spirit with the divine. Her focus never wavered, for she knew the importance of this endeavor, for her family, for her husband, and for the future of the Kuru dynasty. Meanwhile, Pandu began his own penance. With unshakable resolve, he stood each day on a single leg, his body enduring the burning sun and the biting winds. From dawn until dusk, he remained unmoving, offering his tapasya to Indra. His thoughts were focused only on summoning the god to earth, his spirit unwavering despite the physical toll. Days stretched into weeks, and weeks into months, yet Pandu persisted. His penance was so intense that the animals of the forest grew accustomed to the sight of him standing like a tree, still and serene amidst the elements. Under the watchful guidance of the sages, both Kunthi and Pandu remained steadfast in their respective vows. Each day brought them closer to their goal. The forest itself seemed to acknowledge their efforts. The winds blew gently as if in reverence, and the skies remained clear as though waiting for the arrival of the great deity. The intensity of their devotion reached such heights that it was said the heavens themselves began to tremble. Sensing the pull of Pandu's unyielding resolve and Kunthi's unwavering faith, the sages reassured Pandu that his efforts would not be in vain. Indra, known for his pride but also for his sense of justice, would not ignore such a profound act of devotion. If Pandu's tapasya was strong enough, the god himself would descend to earth, and with his arrival, Pandu could seek the divine assurance that his third son would be the mightiest warrior the world had ever known. In the distant halls of Gandhara, events unfolded within the personal life of Shakuni, the wily prince of Gandhara. Shakuni had recently married Arshi, the princess of the Goavrani kingdom, solidifying a political alliance through this union. Their marriage bore fruit, and soon the couple welcomed their firstborn son. Traditionally, royal children were named by the kingdom's revered gurus, who selected names based on celestial alignments and the child's future destiny. Yet, Shakuni, ever defiant of convention, refused the involvement of the royal gurus in this sacred ritual. Instead, he declared that he alone would choose the name of his son. Without hesitation, Shakuni named his child Uluka, a word that translates to owl. The unusual choice of name unsettled many in the court, including the royal gurus and Shakuni's father, Subhala. The name seemed strange, almost inappropriate for a prince of Gandhara. Subhala, in particular, felt displeased with the decision, considering it improper for a future king to bear a name associated with a nocturnal bird. But Shakuni, as always, had his own reasons steeped in wit and veiled sarcasm. Shakuni offered an explanation with his signature cunning. He proclaimed that an owl, though often seen as an omen of ill fortune, was also a creature endowed with qualities that every ruler should possess: sharpness, cunning, and perpetual watchfulness. Shakuni remarked that an owl can see what others cannot, perceiving the hidden truths within darkness. He insisted that these traits were not just desirable, but essential for a prince destined to rule a kingdom like Gandhara, where survival depended on shrewdness and foresight. Subhala and the assembled gurus listened, but Shakuni's tone carried an edge of mockery. With a wry smile, Shakuni added that these qualities were particularly critical for the future ruler of Gandhara, a kingdom that, unlike others, could not even marry off its princesses freely. His words stung, for they were a pointed jab at his father, Subhala, who had married off his daughters to the blind Dhritarashtra, not out of choice, but in fear of Bhishma. The subtle insult hung in the air, leaving Subhala silent and the royal gurus uneasy. Shakuni's words dripped with sarcasm, implying that Gandhara had been reduced to a position where it had no power over its own decisions, forced to bend to the will of others. Shakuni soon decided to leave Gandhara and relocate to Hastinapura with his wife, Arshi, and their newborn son, Uluka. Despite Subhala's insistence that he remain in Gandhara to prepare for his future role as king, Shakuni felt no attachment to the kingdom. His instincts pulled him toward Hastinapura, where he believed his presence was more crucial. To Shakuni, Gandhara was stagnant, while Hastinapura was a place where power shifted and alliances were forged. Ignoring his father's pleas, he set out for Hastinapura with his family, knowing that his future lay not in his homeland, but in the intrigues of the Kuru court, where he intended to play a decisive role. As days passed, the heavens stirred, and the king of the Pancha Mahabhutas, Indra, descended to earth in all his divine splendor to meet Paandu. The air around him shimmered with celestial energy, and the very earth seemed to bow in reverence to his presence. Indra spoke with Paandu, his voice carrying the authority of the cosmos and the wisdom of the stars. He revealed that he would bless Paandu and Kunthi with a son, a child destined to become the greatest warrior the world had ever known. Indra, with his mastery of celestial knowledge, informed Paandu of a precise moment aligned perfectly with the movements of the stars and planets. He explained that if the child were born at that auspicious time, he would be endowed with all the finest qualities. This son would live his life guided by the principles of Dharma, unwavering in his adherence to righteousness. Through his dharmic path, even nature itself would conspire to support him in every endeavor, and he would achieve feats beyond the reach of ordinary human acts that would echo through eternity as a testament to human potential. Hearing Indra's words, Pandu's heart swelled with joy. It was as if the heavens had answered all his prayers. The thought of a son, born under such divine favor and destined for greatness, filled him with hope and pride. With a heart brimming with gratitude, Pandu returned to Kunthi and shared the encounter with her. He told her everything that Indra had revealed, the precise time chosen by the stars, the divine assurance of greatness, and the promise that their third son would surpass all warriors, even the legendary karthavirya Arjuna. Kunthi, overjoyed by her husband's news, agreed without hesitation. She prepared herself for the sacred duty that lay ahead. On the day and hour foretold by Indra, Kunthi performed a sacred bath, purifying her body and spirit in the cold waters of the mountain streams. Clad in white robes, her heart filled with devotion, she ascended the hilltop, the same sacred place where she had invoked the gods before. As the appointed time drew near, the skies darkened, and a divine stillness spread through the air. At the precise moment dictated by the stars, Indra descended once again from the heavens, his form radiant and majestic. Without delay, Indra united with Kunthi, fulfilling the sacred union on earth. Through the divine process of Satyogarbham, the child was conceived and born instantly, bypassing the months of gestation that ordinary beings undergo. The infant's presence radiated strength and purity, a sign of his extraordinary destiny. His skin was soft as the morning breeze, and his gaze, though innocent, carried a hint of the greatness that awaited him. Indra, gazing upon the newborn, declared that the child would become everything Paandu and Kunthi had wished for. He would earn the loyalty of his elders and teachers, living in complete obedience to his gurus. Most importantly, Indra foretold that this son would be the pillar of strength behind Yudhishthira's rise to power, ensuring that his elder brother would one day ascend as the emperor of Kuru dynasty. With those words, Indra blessed the child and returned to the heavens, his divine task fulfilled. Paandu, now holding his third son in his arms, felt a joy unlike any he had ever known. This child was the culmination of all his prayers, born of the penance he had performed, standing on a single leg from sunrise to sunset for an entire year. His heart brimmed with pride, knowing that this son would be a beacon of strength for his family and a protector of his brothers. News of the birth quickly spread through the Shatashringa as the rishis gathered at Pandu's kutir. The sages, wise in the knowledge of time and celestial movements, examined the moment of the child's birth. They considered the alignment of stars, the constellation, and the zodiac sign under which he had been born. The rishis also reflected upon Indra's prophecy, that this boy would become a warrior greater than karthavirya Arjuna, a force unmatched in battle and destined for unparalleled feats. After careful deliberation, the sages agreed upon a name that reflected his destined greatness. They called him Arjuna, a name that would come to symbolize clarity, purity of purpose, and unyielding prowess. Arjuna would not merely be a warrior. He would be a paragon of virtue, courage, and loyalty, a figure destined to shape the future of the Kuru dynasty. As the sages blessed the newborn, Kunthi and Paandu stood by with hearts overflowing with joy. The arrival of Arjuna marked not only the fulfillment of Pandu's penance, but also the strengthening of the bond between the brothers. With Arjuna's birth, the family's future felt secure, and a new chapter began, a chapter that would see these brothers rise to greatness and restore righteousness to the land.